The quality and maximum iteration is going to work together. So the lower the quality, the more simpler your effects are going to be, and technically they're just not going to sample as many times. So if I were to run a simulation on this, I just have my flame burst sim here. I'll just let this get up to a specific frame, and this is more going to affect things when you're dealing with like objects as well, if it has to interact with them. But here we can see how many iterations or envelopes are essentially being worked through. Now ultimately I can set my maximum amount to any value I want, and essentially it's a way that you can cap how many are used. If I were to set this to 10, the simulation times are going to be a lot more extreme. Usually I'd say about let's say 6 times or 5 times the amount. I'd say maybe 5 times longer on average. But if we were to pause one of these, we can see by setting the quality, it's capped at 200 iterations, so it's already using up all these iterations. So essentially, it's kind of like if you were to add a bucket. Well, it's not similar, but one way to look at it is kind of like if you have a lot of particles and you cap how many are being used. It's kind of like how much detail it's going to really put into it, or how many cycles it'll put into it, and this is your way of kind of capping it, whereas this is essentially a multiplier for that. Ultimately, you want to make sure that this is never really capped. I mean, you can, it's just usually you want to kind of find the exact amount that it's going to use and go from there. Now, just because you're adding quality of 10 doesn't mean that the quality is going to be 10 is going to be the best it's going to be. Ultimately, it just means that this is more power that goes into it. Same deal with if you're loading up a material editor and you add like a noise material. If you put like the levels up to 10, you know, it's not going to necessarily give you this ultra fine thing. It's just going to be putting that much processing power into creating that fractal. So ultimately, it's good to kind of find what works for you, but usually I'll leave it on 5, and I'll kind of monitor how many iterations are actually being used. So I might look at this and say, okay, 100 iterations, I can probably bump this down to 100, or I can bump this up a little bit. Most of the time that this applies to things like if you were to like a lot of fast moving objects and you really need to get a lot more accurate simulations and reactions, I would bump up the quality then. But as you can see, if I pause this, yeah, the iterations are getting up there quite high, and you know, it just really depends on what I'm using it for. But definitely when I'm using like fast moving objects, stuff like that, that I want to get a lot more processing power put into getting the most accurate simulation that I can get.